The sun had barely risen over the quiet fields when Lyra, the alien girl, stood at the edge of her small home. Her large, luminous eyes reflected the golden light of the morning, but there was no joy in them. Today was not like any other day. Today was her mother's last day alive. Lyra's mother, Nira, lay on a small mat inside their modest home. Her body was frail, trembling with every breath, but her eyes still shone with warmth. She smiled weakly at Lyra, trying to hide the pain that Lyra could clearly see. "Don't cry, my little star," Nira whispered softly, reaching out to hold Lyra's hand. Lyra squeezed her mother's hand tightly, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I can't help it, Mom," she whispered. "I don't want to lose you." Outside, the fields were quiet except for the soft rustle of leaves in the morning breeze. The alien village around them was peaceful, but Lyra could not feel peace. Her mind was heavy with fear and sorrow. She knew that today, the life she had always known would change forever. As she watched her mother struggle to breathe, a sound broke the stillness. Footsteps approached from the dusty path leading to their home. Lyra looked up, wiping her tears, and saw a human farmer walking slowly toward them. He carried a small bag and had a serious look on his face. The farmer's presence confused Lyra. Humans rarely came to their village. And why today, of all days? Her mother noticed her gaze and tried to calm her. "Lyra, don't worry about him," Nira said softly, though even her voice sounded weak. "He is only here for the cow." Lyra frowned. "Just for the cow? Why would anyone care about the cow more than us?" she asked quietly, her voice trembling. She couldn't understand how someone could be so unaware of pain around them. The farmer knocked gently on the door. Lyra hesitated for a moment, then stepped aside. "Good morning," he said politely, glancing around the small room. His eyes, however, did not meet hers. He seemed focused only on something beyond, perhaps the cow in the yard. Nira tried to sit up, forcing a smile. "Good morning," she whispered. Her hands shook as she reached for the farmer's bag. "Do you want to see the cow?" "Yes, ma'am," the farmer replied, nodding. He didn't notice the sadness in the room, the heavy weight of an ending life. To him, it seemed like any other morning. Lyra's heart ached. She wanted to shout, to make him see, to make him understand that her mother's time was ending. But she remained silent, holding back her emotions, tears silently falling onto her small hands. She watched the farmer approach the cow, inspecting it carefully as if nothing else mattered. The tension in the room grew. Every breath Nira took sounded louder than the farmer's steps, every cough echoed in Lyra's ears. It was as if the world itself had stopped, yet the farmer continued, unaware of the life-altering moment unfolding right in front of him. Lyra stepped closer to her mother, pressing her small face against Nira's shoulder. She wanted to memorize every sound, every smell, every heartbeat. Time felt cruel and unfair. The farmer finally nodded, apparently satisfied with the cow, and reached into his bag. Lyra held her breath, fearing that any sudden movement might shatter the fragile moment with her mother. For a long moment, no one spoke. The room was filled with the quiet sounds of life, the soft breathing of a dying mother, the rustle of the farmer's bag, and the tiny sobs of a frightened alien child. Lyra wanted to scream at the unfairness of it all, but she didn't. She could only stand there, powerless, as the day unfolded, knowing that nothing would ever be the same again. Finally, the farmer straightened and smiled politely. "Thank you, ma'am. The cow is fine," he said. "I will take it now." He didn't notice Lyra's trembling hands or her mother's fading smile. He didn't understand that some moments were bigger than any transaction. As he walked away with the cow, Lyra's tears fell freely. She clutched her mother tightly, whispering words of love she hoped Nira could hear. The sky above seemed too bright for such a sad day, and yet the world went on, indifferent to the pain of one small alien girl. And in that moment, Lyra made a silent promise: she would never forget this day. She would honor her mother, survive the pain, and find a way to make the world see the value of life, even when it was small, fragile, and alien. The sun climbed higher, but the weight in Lyra's chest did not lift. Her mother's soft breathing was fading, and every passing moment felt like sand slipping through her fingers. She sat by Neera's side, holding her hand tightly, unwilling to let go even for a second. After the farmer left with the cow, a strange silence settled over the fields. It was not the quiet of peace, but the quiet of something waiting, something unseen. Lyra glanced around nervously. Shadows stretched oddly across the ground, moving in ways that made her skin tingle. "Neera, why is it so quiet?" Lyra whispered, her voice trembling. Her mother's lips barely moved, but she managed a weak smile. "Sometimes, Lyra, the world pauses before a change. You must be ready when it does," Neera whispered, her words strange and heavy with meaning. Lyra didn't understand fully, but a chill ran down her spine. She had always known her mother had secrets, but she never realized how deep they ran. As Neera's breaths grew shorter, Lyra felt a sudden pull toward the edge of their home, toward the small grove of trees where the wind seemed to carry voices. Before she could react, a faint glow appeared between the trees. Lyra's heart pounded. The light was not like sunlight or moonlight, it flickered like fire, yet shimmered like metal. She stepped closer, and the shadows shifted, almost hiding the light, almost warning her to stop. "Lyra," Neera's voice was urgent now, almost pleading. "Do not go, not yet." But curiosity burned in Lyra's chest, mingling with grief. She moved forward, each step hesitant but determined. As she neared the grove, she saw something impossible, a small, strange device lying on the ground, pulsing with a soft blue glow. Symbols she had never seen before moved across it like water. She reached out with trembling hands, drawn to it as if it were calling her. Suddenly, a low hum filled the air. Lyra froze. The shadows around her seemed alive, stretching toward her like fingers. The grove felt alive, breathing. And then she heard it, a whisper, soft but urgent, coming from nowhere and everywhere at once. "Lyra, the time is coming, the world will see, but only if you choose." Her heart raced. She didn't understand the words, but their meaning was clear. Something extraordinary was waiting for her. Something that could change everything. And yet, she could feel danger lurking in the unseen corners of the grove. Lyra ran back to her mother, clutching the device tightly. Neera's eyes flickered open, and for a moment, the frail alien seemed stronger. "It's yours now," she said, her voice barely audible. "Protect it, and yourself. The farmer, the cow, they were never what they seemed." Lyra stared at her mother, confused. "What do you mean?" she asked, but Neera only shook her head, too weak to speak more. Her hand dropped limply, and Lyra felt an icy wave of fear sweep over her. Outside, the wind picked up. A shadow moved across the field where the farmer had left. Lyra's senses sharpened. Something wasn't right. The farmer was not ordinary, he had not been ordinary at all. And the cow was not just a cow. Lyra realized she had to act quickly. With her mother fading, secrets unfolding, and shadows closing in, she could not wait. The glowing device pulsed in her hands, as if alive, giving her a strange sense of courage. She made a silent promise: she would uncover the truth, protect the device, and survive, no matter what. As the sun dipped lower, Lyra looked at the horizon. The world had grown larger, stranger, and far more dangerous than she could have imagined. But for the first time, she felt a spark of power, a small, burning determination that maybe, just maybe, she could face the darkness ahead. And as the shadows lengthened and the wind carried whispers she could not yet understand, Lyra knew one thing with certainty: nothing would ever be the same again. Night had fallen over the alien village, and the stars glittered coldly above, as if watching every small secret unfold below. Lyra sat alone by the edge of her home, the glowing device clutched tightly to her chest. Her heart pounded. Every rustle of leaves, every soft breeze seemed alive with hidden intentions. She knew she was no longer alone. The farmer's silhouette appeared once more at the edge of the field. But this time, he moved differently, quiet, calculated, almost predator-like. The cow was gone, yet he had not left. Lyra's stomach turned. Something about him was wrong. Much more than a simple man buying livestock. Suddenly, the ground beneath her vibrated softly. The device pulsed faster, casting blue streaks of light into the shadows. Lyra felt a strange warmth spread through her hands, like it was responding to her fear, her grief, and her determination all at once. "It wants me to act," she thought. A whisper echoed again, this time louder, almost urgent. "He comes for more than the cow. Protect it, protect yourself." Before Lyra could react, the farmer stepped into the glow. His eyes, once human in appearance, now shimmered with an unnatural light. He was no longer just a man, his presence radiated something alien, something dangerous. Lyra's breath caught. The cow was a test. And I am next. Fear surged, but so did a spark of courage. She held the device high, feeling it hum in response to her heartbeat. The shadows around the farmer shifted, twisting unnaturally, as if obeying some unseen command. Lyra realized the truth, her mother's warning had been real. This was no ordinary human. This was something far more sinister. The farmer's voice was calm but edged with power. "Give me the device, child," he said. "It belongs to me. Your world has no idea what it holds, yet." Lyra shook her head, fear and defiance fighting inside her. "It's my mother's, and mine now," she shouted. Blue light from the device flared, illuminating her small form against the growing darkness. In an instant, shadows shot forward from the trees, striking at the farmer, but he did not flinch. Instead, they recoiled, twisting around him like obedient servants. Lyra realized the device was more than light, it was power. And it had chosen her. A sudden gust of wind slammed into her, knocking her to the ground. She cried out, gripping the device tightly. Her mind raced. "I don't know what this can do, but I have to survive. I have to protect it, or everything is lost." The farmer advanced, his unnatural glow spreading, and with each step, the world seemed to shiver. Lyra's eyes darted around, seeking an escape, a weapon, anything, but she had only the device and her courage. And yet, something stirred within her, a strange, growing strength that seemed to whisper, "You are not weak. You are more than you know." Her hands tightened around the device, and suddenly, a pulse of blue energy shot outward, forcing the farmer to stumble back. Lyra gasped, the power surging through her, stronger than she imagined. Shadows twisted and recoiled, creating a barrier between her and the threat. She realized then that the device was alive, connected to her in ways she could not yet understand. But even as relief flickered in her chest, a cold thought struck her: the farmer had come for the cow first. Why? What had he been testing? And how many more dangers were lurking, unseen, in the night? Lyra's gaze returned to her mother, weak and resting inside their home. "I can't fail her. I won't fail her." She knew that whatever lay ahead, she had to master the device, survive the shadows, and uncover the truth behind the farmer's intentions. The night grew darker, the stars more distant, and the wind carried voices that were neither wind nor human. Lyra's heart pounded with anticipation and fear. She was alone, small, and fragile, but now, she held a spark of power that could change everything. And as the shadows whispered and the device hummed with life, Lyra realized the truth: the world was bigger, stranger, and far more dangerous than she had ever imagined. And she had only just begun her journey. The night had grown heavier, almost alive, pressing down on Lyra as she stood clutching the glowing device. Her small body trembled, but inside, a fierce determination burned. Shadows whispered around her, bending strangely, as if aware of the power in her hands. The farmer was still out there. She could feel it. Suddenly, the ground shivered beneath her feet, and a faint, metallic hum filled the air. Lyra froze. From the darkness emerged the farmer, but he was no longer simply human. His form shimmered, edges flickering like broken light. His eyes glowed an eerie silver, reflecting the pulsing blue of the device. "You cannot hide from destiny, child," the farmer said, his voice echoing in the night. "That device, it was never meant for you. It belongs to those who control worlds." Lyra's heart raced, but she refused to step back. "I don't care what it is. My mother trusted me with it. I will protect it, no matter what you are." Her voice, small yet strong, carried into the darkness, shaking the shadows around them. The farmer's lips curved into a faint, sinister smile. "Brave words, but bravery alone will not save you." With a wave of his hand, the shadows around him sprang forward like living creatures, twisting and striking at Lyra. She ducked instinctively, feeling the cold rush past her cheeks. The device pulsed in response, sending a wave of blue energy outward, throwing the shadows back. Lyra felt it vibrate in her hands, as if alive, as if it understood her fear and anger. She realized it was not just a tool, it was a part of her now, and together, they could fight. But the farmer was relentless. He advanced slowly, shadows recoiling around him like armor, his presence chilling the air. "Do you truly understand what you hold?" he asked. "This is not a toy. It can destroy worlds, or create them. And soon, everything you know will be in my hands if you fail." Lyra's mind raced. She had to act fast. Her mother's face flashed in her memory, weak but proud, urging her to be strong. She clenched the device tighter, feeling the warmth of its power spreading through her body, giving her strength she never knew she had. Suddenly, the shadows around the farmer twisted and merged, forming a massive, terrifying figure, larger than any creature Lyra had ever seen. Its eyes gleamed like molten silver, and its growl rattled the very ground beneath her feet. The farmer's form shimmered inside the darkness, almost becoming one with the monstrous shadow. Lyra's pulse quickened, but she refused to flee. "I don't care how strong you are. I won't let you take this," she shouted. The device flared brightly, sending waves of blue light crashing into the giant shadow. The figure roared in pain, recoiling, but the farmer's voice cut through the noise. "You are not ready, not yet. But you will be tested, and the world will watch what you do." His voice echoed as he vanished into the shadows, leaving only a faint silver glow behind. Lyra sank to her knees, exhausted but alive. Her chest heaved with fear and adrenaline, but she knew one thing: she could not stay. She had to understand the device, protect it, and prepare for the next encounter. The stakes were higher than she had ever imagined. As she looked toward the horizon, a strange figure appeared in the distance, a silhouette that seemed familiar yet alien. It moved quickly, silently, toward her. Lyra's senses screamed that she was not alone, and this was not the farmer. Whoever, or whatever, was coming, they were connected to the device. Her mind raced with questions: who are they? Can I trust them? What does the farmer truly want? But there was no time to dwell. Lyra clutched the device, feeling its power flow through her like fire and ice combined. She knew her journey had only begun, and the night held more secrets than she could imagine. The wind carried whispers again, this time clearer, urgent: "Lyra, the path ahead is dangerous, but you are the key, trust yourself." A cold chill ran down her spine as the distant figure stepped closer. Shadows stretched unnaturally, bending around them like living curtains. Lyra's small hands tightened around the device, the blue glow brightening, matching her determination. Tonight, nothing would be the same. The farmer had revealed his power, the device had awakened in her hands, and the world she knew had begun to shatter. And as the unknown figure approached, Lyra realized one undeniable truth: the real battle was only beginning. Lyra's heart pounded as the mysterious figure stepped closer from the shadows. Its form was strange, almost humanoid, but shimmered with light like the device she held. Every step it took seemed to bend reality around it. Lyra instinctively raised the glowing device, its blue light flaring in warning. "Do not be afraid," the figure said, its voice echoing softly in her mind rather than through the air. Lyra froze, startled. "It can speak without moving its lips. I don't know if I can trust you," she whispered, fear and doubt battling with curiosity. The figure's glow pulsed, and for a moment, Lyra saw visions: worlds burning, shadows consuming light, civilizations falling. Then one image remained, the device in her hands, glowing brighter than ever, surrounded by the farmer and his shadows. "You are the key, Lyra," the figure said. "The farmer seeks to take the device because it can open doors between worlds. If he succeeds, nothing will remain safe." Lyra's chest tightened. Her mother's words, her last moments, the farmer's sinister power, they all made sense now. This was bigger than her village, bigger than her family. It was a fight for life itself. The farmer's voice suddenly echoed in the distance, chilling and mocking. "You cannot hide from me, child. The device will be mine." Shadows moved behind him, twisting and writhing like living darkness. Lyra could feel them creeping closer, faster than before. Panic surged, but so did courage. The device pulsed in her hands, responding to her fear and anger. A wave of energy shot outward, pushing the shadows back. Lyra felt it like fire in her veins, a strange connection growing stronger with every pulse. "I am not weak. I will not let him win." The mysterious figure moved beside her. "The farmer is only the beginning," it warned. "The device chooses its master. It has chosen you, but mastery requires trust, control, and courage. Can you do it?" Lyra swallowed hard, determination hardening her voice. "I'll try. I have to. For my mother, and for everyone who cannot protect themselves." The shadows surged again, faster this time, forming a monstrous shape, larger than anything Lyra had seen. Its eyes glowed like molten silver, and its roar shook the ground. The farmer's laughter echoed inside it, merging with the darkness, making it stronger. Lyra's pulse raced. She raised the device high, letting its blue energy surge through her. The shadows struck, but the light pushed them back, forming a protective barrier around her and the mysterious figure. Every strike felt heavier, more dangerous, as if the darkness itself was alive. Then, with a sudden jolt, the device emitted a blinding pulse. The monstrous shadow shrieked and recoiled, and Lyra saw something impossible: the farmer faltering. His glowing form wavered, revealing his human side underneath, twisted by dark power. The figure whispered urgently, "Now, Lyra. Focus. Channel your heart into the device." Lyra closed her eyes and let her emotions flow: fear, love, grief, courage, all of it merging with the device. Blue light erupted like a storm, sweeping across the field, scattering shadows and shaking the earth. The farmer screamed, a sound of both pain and fury, as he staggered back into the darkness. When the light faded, silence fell. Lyra's hands trembled, but the device was calm, glowing softly now. The monstrous shadow was gone. The farmer had vanished. For a moment, relief washed over her, but it was fragile. The mysterious figure approached, its glow fading as well. "You have survived the first test," it said. "But the farmer will return, stronger. And there are others, forces you cannot yet imagine. The device has chosen you, Lyra, but being chosen is only the beginning." Lyra looked at the horizon, where the first hints of dawn touched the sky. Her village seemed peaceful, unaware of the battle that had just occurred. Yet she knew the truth: nothing would ever be the same again. Her mother's memory filled her mind, and she whispered, "I will protect it, Mom. I promise." The device pulsed gently in response, as if acknowledging her vow. The mysterious figure disappeared into the shadows, leaving Lyra alone with the rising sun. But this time, she did not feel fear. She felt power, determination, and a spark of hope. She had faced darkness, survived, and discovered that even a small, frightened girl could wield unimaginable strength when courage burned in her heart. Lyra knew one thing clearly: the journey ahead would be dangerous, the farmer would not give up, and the universe held secrets far greater than she had ever imagined. But she also knew this: she was ready to face them. And as the light of dawn bathed the fields, Lyra clenched the device tightly, her eyes filled with resolve. The real war had only just begun. The night had fallen again, heavier than before, as if the stars themselves were holding their breath. Lyra stood alone on the hill outside her village, the glowing device cradled in her hands. Its soft blue light pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat, stronger now, almost alive. She had faced the farmer once, and survived. But something deep inside told her that the real battle was about to begin. A cold wind swept across the field, carrying whispers that made her shiver. "Lyra, awaken, your time has come." Her eyes widened as the device surged, emitting waves of energy she had never felt before. Images flashed in her mind, worlds beyond her understanding, skies filled with strange light, beings of unimaginable power, and shadows stretching across galaxies. The device was showing her the universe, and her place within it. A sudden rustle behind her made Lyra spin. Shadows coalesced into a familiar figure, the farmer. But he was different now. His form glimmered with dark energy, more dangerous, more unpredictable. "You think you are ready?" he hissed, his voice both human and alien, twisting through the night air. "You have only scratched the surface of what I can do. Give me the device, child, or everything you love will be lost." Lyra took a deep breath. Fear bubbled up inside her, but it was tempered by the fire of determination. She raised the device high, feeling it respond to her courage, to her anger, and to the love she carried for her mother and her home. "I will not let him win." The shadows lunged toward her, but this time, Lyra did not hesitate. She focused, imagining the force of her will flowing through the device, guiding it. A blinding surge of blue energy shot outward, slamming into the shadows with tremendous force. They screamed and recoiled, twisting back toward the farmer. He roared, a sound that shook the trees and rippled through the hills, but the device pulsed even stronger in her hands. Lyra realized then the truth: its power grew not just from the device itself, but from her heart, her courage, and her determination. "You are stronger than I imagined," the farmer spat, staggering backward. "But strength alone will not stop me." With a flick of his hand, the shadows merged into a massive, terrifying creature, taller than the trees, its eyes glowing molten silver. The wind howled, carrying the sound of its growl across the valley. Lyra's pulse raced, but she did not falter. She closed her eyes and let the memories of her mother fill her mind, the warmth of her hand, her words of love, and her final promise. The device pulsed violently, responding to the intensity of her emotions. Blue light erupted like a storm, smashing into the monstrous shadow, illuminating the night with waves of energy. The farmer screamed, staggering, as the shadow shrieked and twisted, unable to withstand the force. Lyra's hands glowed, and she realized something incredible: the device was no longer separate from her. It was a part of her. Her mind, her heart, and her will flowed through it, giving her the power to shape the world around her. The shadows shattered, scattering into the night like mist. The farmer fell to his knees, defeated but not gone, his form flickering between human and something darker. Lyra's chest heaved with exhaustion, but she stood tall, the device glowing steadily in her hands. "You will never take it," she said, her voice calm but strong. "I am its master now. And I will protect it, no matter what." The farmer glared at her, a mixture of fury and fear in his eyes. "This is not over, child," he said, his voice low and dangerous. "You have only awakened a fraction of your power. But soon, everything will change." With that, he vanished into the shadows, leaving only a faint ripple in the air. Lyra sank to her knees, trembling from the release of energy and adrenaline. For the first time, she understood the true weight of her responsibility. The device was not just a tool, it was a key to worlds, a force that could destroy or protect entire civilizations. And it had chosen her to wield it. As the first rays of dawn touched the hills, Lyra's resolve hardened. She had faced darkness, survived impossible odds, and discovered her own power. But the journey was far from over. The farmer would return, stronger and more dangerous than ever, and there were mysteries about the device she had yet to uncover. Lyra looked toward the horizon, the wind carrying whispers of the future. "Your strength is only the beginning, the universe awaits, and the real test is yet to come." She clutched the device tightly, feeling its warmth and energy flow through her. She was no longer a frightened child. She was a guardian, a force of hope, and the last line of defense against the darkness that sought to consume everything. The universe was vast, dangerous, and full of unknown threats. But Lyra was ready. And as she took her first steps toward the future, one thought burned in her mind: the final battle was coming, and she would face it with all the power, courage, and heart she had discovered within herself. The sky was dark, pierced by streaks of lightning that seemed alive, as if the universe itself had paused to watch. Lyra stood at the edge of a cliff, the glowing device pulsing in her hands like a heartbeat. Every step she took felt heavier, as if the world knew the battle to come would decide far more than her fate. The farmer appeared, emerging from the shadows like a storm given form. His silver eyes burned with fury, and the darkness around him swirled into monstrous shapes. "So, you think you have learned your strength?" he hissed. "This power is mine by right. Surrender the device, or everything will end tonight." Lyra's chest tightened, but she stood firm. Memories of her mother's last day, her love, her courage, and her whispered encouragements filled her mind. "I will not let him win. Not now. Not ever." She held the device high, feeling it surge with energy that mirrored her heart. The farmer laughed, a sound that shook the cliffside. "Do you understand what you face, child? This device can open doors between worlds. Entire civilizations will crumble if you fail. And yet, here you are, standing alone." Lyra's hands glowed, and with a deep, steadying breath, she spoke. "I am not alone. I carry everyone I love in my heart. And that is stronger than your shadows, your power, and your lies." With a roar, the farmer unleashed the darkness around him. Shadows lunged like living beasts, clawing, twisting, trying to engulf her. Lyra's blue light flared, scattering them, but they reformed instantly, stronger, faster, more violent. Then, something incredible happened. The device pulsed in response to her resolve, sending waves of light outward. The shadows shrieked and recoiled, unable to bear the force. Lyra felt energy rushing through her body, connecting her to the device. She realized, she was no longer just holding it. She was it. The farmer's monstrous shadow roared, towering over her, and he surged forward. Lyra did not flinch. She focused on the love, courage, and hope inside her, letting it flow through the device. A brilliant beam of blue energy shot forth, striking the shadow head-on. The force was immense, shaking the ground, tearing the cliffside, and scattering lightning across the sky. The farmer screamed, staggering back, his silver eyes flashing between fury and fear. "Impossible," he bellowed. You are only a child." Lyra stood taller than ever, her fear replaced with unshakable determination. "A child can fight. A child can protect. A child can change the world," she shouted. The device pulsed violently, and the shadows around the farmer shattered like glass, leaving him vulnerable. In one final surge, Lyra directed all her power, all her heart, and all her courage through the device. A blinding explosion of blue energy engulfed the farmer and his darkness. When the light faded, the shadows were gone. The farmer lay on the ground, human and broken, his power drained, staring at Lyra in disbelief. Lyra fell to her knees, exhausted, but she smiled. She had done it. She had survived, protected the device, and defeated a power far greater than anyone in her world could imagine. The cliffside was quiet now, except for the soft hum of the device, which pulsed gently in her hands. A soft wind carried whispers, calm and soothing this time. You have awakened. You have grown. You are ready. Lyra looked at the horizon where the first light of dawn broke. Her village lay peaceful below, unaware of the battle that had raged above. But Lyra knew the truth: the universe was vast, full of mysteries and dangers, but also hope. And now, she was part of it. She held the device close and whispered, "I will protect it, always. I will protect life, love, and hope. I promise, Mom." Blue light glowed warmly, as if the device had understood, and she felt a connection stronger than ever before. The farmer, defeated but alive, slowly retreated into the shadows. His voice, faint and broken, echoed one last warning: "This is not the end. The universe remembers, and I will return." Lyra watched him go, unafraid. She had faced the darkness and prevailed. She had discovered her power, her courage, and the strength that had always been inside her. She was no longer a frightened child. She was a protector, a guardian, and a force the universe would never forget. As the wind carried her forward, Lyra knew one undeniable truth: the battles ahead would be many, but she was ready. She had awakened, and the universe itself would see what a determined heart could accomplish. And in that moment, standing alone yet unshakably strong, Lyra felt hope, power, and purpose flow through her. The real journey was just beginning, and this time, she would face it as the master of her destiny.